Good afternoon, everyone. This is Mike O'Malley here with a severe weather outlook and discussion recorded on April 2nd, 2022, around 2 p.m. Eastern Time. We have a lot to dive into today, starting out with today's severe weather threat. Kind of a sneaky setup today. We have an enhanced risk for severe storms around the DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex down to near Austin, Texas. Slight risk out to near Shreveport, Louisiana, south of Norman, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City, with a marginal level 1 out of 5 risk, including Jackson, Mississippi, Interstate 20, just south of Little Rock, Arkansas, to just south of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So this marginal risk does include Oklahoma City and surrounding areas around that. General thunderstorm risk elsewhere. Not expecting much else in the way of severe weather outside of this risk area today. Now, the instability values, this is the HRRR forecast valid for 20Z, so just here in a couple of hours. Instability still is going to be confined mostly to the south. You can see the better axis of CAPE, around 2,500 joules per kilogram, is sitting south of the DFW Metroplex. However, there is an area of instability around about 1,200 to 1,500 around the DFW Metroplex. So thunderstorms are going to be able to easily generate kind of along into the west of this axis here. Kind of right around here is where convection is expected to develop and rapidly mature into supercells as they head off towards kind of the east-southeast like that. So we'll have some supercell potential today around this area. If we kind of move this out to 20Z, we notice the rapid change here. Instability rapidly increases around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and this is likely the time when we'll start to see that initiation of these severe thunderstorms around the Dallas area. And again, that better instability is going to be confined right here to the south, kind of south of the DFW Metroplex. So there's the potential for some big hailstones to fall. We're talking over 2 inches in diameter today, really along and south of the Interstate 35 corridor from about Dallas-Fort Worth southward. There is this potential for some pretty significant hailstones to fall today, and SBC has highlighted that accordingly. Our lift today is not going to be very high, and the reason for that is just a little pressure perturbation, just a tad bit of a trough that is going to be moving through over the next couple of hours, and this is going to pave the way for some isolated modest lifting out across the warm sector from Dallas southward, and kind of weak forcing around Wichita and Shreveport and south. So kind of the biggest area for forcing today is going to be around the Interstate 35 corridor south of Oklahoma City and south of Norman, Oklahoma, kind of around our target area for today around Dallas and these areas where the enhanced risk is posted for. Now the dew points, this is coming off the HRRR again for 22Z. We notice that the dew point values don't extend really far to the north. In fact, our better axis for instability today is going to be mainly confined, again, kind of along the coast here. We're going to be dealing with 70s dew points near the coast, and you can see 55 dew points all the way up to Tulsa and Oklahoma City, but elsewise, these dew points are not really high at all, and so therefore, we're only going to have around 65 dew points just north of Dallas. And so again, the area where the enhanced risk is kind of at right here around the Red River, which is kind of right around in here, and south. Again, this includes like the Dallas area, Fort Worth and surrounding vicinity, Tyler, Texas. Those areas today are going to be under that gun, as again, the higher dew point values are going to be here, allowing for initialization of these storms somewhere out in here, and they'll be kind of moving towards the east and southeast with time. Mainly a hail threat for today, but we can see again the thunderstorm risk is going to be quite high today. Tornado threat is 10 hatched, so there is a possibility of seeing some strong tornadoes, EF2 or greater, around the Dallas-Fort Worth area, kind of surrounding this area right in here. And again, that is going to be translating, again, mainly later this afternoon as that low-level jet does increase. Wind, there is a 30 hatched probability, and hail also 30 hatched probability, meaning we could see some very strong winds over hurricane force and significant hail over 2 inches in diameter. So again, this doesn't exactly correlate with the SPC risks. I just want to kind of throw that out there right now so no one gets confused. Today is an enhanced risk day, but again, these are certainly the more elevated risk factors today, being the wind and the hail threat. Now, shifting our attention out towards the northern plains and out across the south for this coming Tuesday, we have another risk for severe storms. This is going to be on the heels of a very significant tornado outbreak that occurred on Friday. And this is going to be another enhanced risk day. SPC highlighting enhanced risk near Kansas City, Des Moines, Chicago, Peoria, Champaign, and near St. Louis. Secondary enhanced risk area from near Little Rock to just to the north and west of Memphis, Tennessee, and to the south and east of Springfield. So 2 enhanced risk areas going out so far for our threat on Tuesday. The NAM 18Z here, this is valid for 18Z on Tuesday. Notice that we have elevated instability values over 2,500 joules per kilogram near Little Rock, Arkansas, Springfield, Fayette. Now, we notice that there's something ongoing to the north, kind of near Des Moines and north of Peoria. This is the warm front right here. So our warm front is going to be lifting northward as we progress throughout the day. And so all of these instability values are going to creep northward as we get a strengthening low-level flow, as we get a deepening cyclone that is going to be moving off towards the north and east. That is going to help to fuel these instability values to increase after 18Z here on Tuesday. So that's the NAM forecast. And again, the threat for severe weather is only going to increase. Again, the threats for Arkansas, mainly for central Arkansas, including Little Rock, again, high risk for thunderstorms in general, enhanced risk for tornadoes. Again, there is going to be a little bit less forcing as we go further south, because again, we're going to see the low-level cyclone kind of take place and move up in the similar direction to last time. So we're going to have the greatest forcing in this area over here, closer towards the cyclone, and then further south, we're going to have less forcing, meaning more of a discrete thunderstorm potential combined with those higher instability values. Again, tornadoes probably going for about a 10 hatched region. The wind threat certainly could be elevated as well. If any thunderstorm clusters or line segments join, we could see a very high wind threat with some of those elevated wind values in the mid and upper levels. And so if that can be transported down to the surface via downdrafts, we will see an elevated wind potential and likely an elevated enhanced hail potential as well. Again, probably something around the lines of about 15 hatched in this area, probably 30 hatch for wind and 10 hatch for tornadoes. Again, that hatch, when I refer to that, that means the threat for significant severe weather, meaning EF2 greater in terms of tornadoes, 65 knots or 75 miles per hour or greater with wind, and 2 inches in diameter of hailstones or larger when I'm referring to those hatched vicinities. And then into central Missouri and central and northern Illinois as well for Tuesday's event. The thunderstorm confidence does go down because there is some signals that we are getting for somewhat of a discrete mode here into central and northern Illinois. So the thunderstorm coverage may be limited, at least initially, before we start to transition more to a linear line. And it's kind of similar to what we saw on Friday of this past week, where we kind of didn't have any thunderstorms in this vicinity over here for the most part. We had some, but not too many. And most of the convection was up here and down here with our bimodal setups. And that's kind of what we're going to see again as we go forward for really this Tuesday event. So thunderstorm confidence does come from high to moderate. And then the tornado threat does, again, remain elevated right now at enhanced, probably 10 hatched right now. Still not confident in going 15 hatched with this. That would bring that up to kind of the moderate threshold of confidence, because I just don't know how many storms we're going to see. But I do think that the long track potential is there before a squall line takes over. And wind, of course, is going to be elevated as well. Probably going to be seeing 30 hatched, possibly even 45 hatched, with kind of any more of those linear modes And that hail threat, again, because we're going to see cooler temperatures aloft up there as we kind of get that 500 millibar low to kind of consolidate, similar to what we saw on Friday, that hail threat is going to be up there, probably 30 hatched as well, into central and northern Illinois and central Missouri. All right. So with that being said, I know we just had a severe weather event, but make sure to take this very seriously. It is time to kind of put those plans into place at this point, or at least start thinking about it. And of course, for today's event, certainly keep an eye to the sky. All right. So that being said, I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon, evening. Of course, I am Michael O'Malley. I'll talk to you guys some more over the next couple of days.